Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Luis Fernandez. Imagine getting a notice saying your driver's license is being suspended for a crime you never committed. That's exactly what happened to one local woman. She spent weeks trying to clear her name, but got nowhere with the DMV. Then she called 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur, who joins us now on the WRAL Daily Download. Keely, so this sounds wild. Tell me a little bit more about the story. How did this come to be?
So, yeah, and it's wild, and we fixed it, and I love it. I love this story. And basically, I think her friend, this woman's friend, had heard about the situation and contacted the TV station. And the moment I read the email, I'm like, oh, I got to get involved. A lovely woman. She lives in Mebane. Her name is Stephanie. She is a stay-at-home. Well, she works from home as a school teacher for her daughter. She's active in her church. She stays local to the Mebane area.
Important note there.
Important note. Because at the end of July, in September, she received a letter saying at the end of July of this year, 2025, she was ticketed for speeding 15 miles over the speed limit in Maryland. And we have a reciprocity with the state of Maryland and other states. So if you are ticketed in a different state, that's probably going to come back to haunt you in North Carolina. So she allegedly got this ticket in Maryland, and then as a result, a letter came from the North Carolina DMV saying, hey, you're going to have your license suspended for a year.
Wow.
And she was dumbfounded. She was never in Maryland. She hasn't been in Maryland since 2001. And she went back to her Facebook and checked to see what she was doing on the day in question when she allegedly was in Maryland and got this ticket. She was hosting a treasure hunt for kids at her church.
Oh, wow.
In North Carolina. So it was crazy. And she tried all the things, and we can get into that, and then none of it worked until I got involved.
Okay, so I'm trying to think where to even go with this. What did she try? What did she try to do to fix this problem before coming to you? What did not work?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I always want people, before they come to me, try to exhaust the normal channels. Sometimes people think, oh, just come to me first. No. There's other things that you can do before we need to get like the TV and the spotlight and all of this on specific stories. But in this case, she contacted the North Carolina DMV. She contacted the Maryland DMV over and over again. She said she made 97 phone calls. Wow. When she called North Carolina's DMV, they said, well, call Maryland's DMV. Maryland said, let me look it up. There was no record of her even driving in the state. And they said, well, we can't send a letter to North Carolina saying you didn't get a ticket because we don't even have a record of you ever driving in the state. We have no record of you as a person, so we can't send North Carolina DMV a letter. She said she called North Carolina DMV, explained that, and they said, well, you must have done something wrong, even though there's no existence of this ticket. Basically, it was called what is an empty ticket. So it was linked to her car, but there was no officer name. There were no other details. It was just basically somebody had entered in her license plate number, and it in error, and that's what triggered it. But even though these states have the reciprocal agreement, they need to get their data and everything else in check, because this person, Stephanie, went through a lot dealing with this, because, the 1-year license suspension was looming over her head. In addition to making those phone calls and not getting anywhere with the DMV, she had to hire an attorney. She spent $1,500 on an attorney because she wasn't getting anywhere else.
I mean, losing your license, or the threat of even losing your license, that's massive. I mean, that's huge to everything that you're going to be doing on a daily basis, driving around.
Yeah, she drives kids to church with her on Wednesdays, her and her husband. Like, she's busy like any of us, and she needs to get around.
Let's go and take a quick break right there. When we come back, how 5 on Your Side fixed this problem. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. WRAL 5 on Your Side reporter Keely Arthur is with us. Okay, Keely, so we've talked about how there's just kind of this ticket that seemed to come out of nowhere that doesn't really seem to make any sense. Stephanie has exhausted all of the different avenues that she can. And now she turns to 5 on your side. She turns to you. What happened? How did you solve this problem?
Yeah, so her friend contacted us, and I contacted Stephanie right away. I texted her, and I said, send me a copy of the letter and give me your license number, your name. I, ironically enough, have a great relationship with the DMV communications team because we've done so many stories on DMV long lines and all that. But as a journalist, you always want to, even if you're doing tough stories on people, you want to be fair. And so I feel like I have been, and I have a great relationship with Marty Homan, who is the head of the communications at DMV. So I felt really confident that, again, if she was telling the truth and everything that she said was accurate, that this would be resolved. And so I contacted him. I told him the situation. A week later, he said, we've removed the suspension. We've removed all of it. We're really sorry. And when I asked him, I want to read you this, any idea of how this could happen? This is what he said. He said, this type of error can occur when information is miskeyed or misrouted during the data sharing process between states. Traffic convictions are transmitted electronically through interstate systems. If Maryland systems incorrectly matches a driver record to North Carolina due to a mistyped driver's license, incorrect state code, or software mapping error, the conviction can be sent to the wrong state's DMV database. So North Carolina's DMV said this all originated in Maryland. Mm-hmm. And as far as is this going to happen again? I mean, it's a computer error. It definitely could it could happen to anybody. It was just there was nothing she did to make it happen to her.
Right. I'm imagining, someone's typing, information into some kind of line, and you press, E instead of R or whatever it is,
exactly.
And there you go.
Human error.
Human error. Jeez Louise. Well, I'm glad that things have worked out for Stephanie, that you found a solution there. The DMV was so accommodating in helping to fix this problem. When we've talked before about 5 on your side, you often say you want to make sure that you take this one story and you find ways to have it impact more than one person. What do you want people to take away from this story?
I think, there's always like the consumer lesson and then like what's the business or the entity that made a mistake doing to make things better. On the consumer end, I really don't think that there's anything she could have done differently. She mistakenly got this to no fault of her own. She tried so hard to figure this out with the DMV in both states. She hired an attorney. Like, she did everything in her power. Yeah. But I think the lesson learned is the North Carolina DMV and Maryland DMV. I emailed both of them. How did this happen? What's going on? And I think, as awareness breeds improvement. So there's scrutiny. That's why I like doing these stories. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but sometimes there are problems in these big systems that need to get a spotlight so they don't happen again or they happen less. So that's my hope here. I think the big takeaway is I hope the DMV and in all the states just pays attention to these more accurately and goes, you know what, that happened to another person that one time. Let's look into this a little bit more and fix it.
Find a way to fix this solution in the future. Absolutely. And for those that are listening that may have problems, how would you recommend they get in contact with you and the 5 on your side team?
So I think this one was the friend just there's a reported page on WRAL.com. You can just Google it, or it's WRAL/report it. I always say for me, and this will be probably our new game, where if you've stayed and listened to this the whole time, I'll give you an extra tip. You can just email me, karthur, ARTHUR, @WRAL.com. Those are the ones I see, and we get flooded with need for help. I totally get it. If it's something I think I can get involved in, I will respond back to you.
Awesome. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side reporter. Thank you so much, Keely. I'm Luis Fernandez. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and for making us part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email with Triangle news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.